So I just wanted to share a little bit of my testimony with y'all. I used to struggle really bad with nicotine, vaping in particular, and I just struggled with addiction my whole life. Now, I've believed in God, right? Since I was a kid, I was raised up to believe in Jesus. And along the way, I felt like I was just fulfilling religious duties and not really getting close to God. And I started leaning on worldly things like weed, nicotine, alcohol, all these worldly things. And even when those exact things betrayed me, I still kept leaning on to them, expecting something good to come out of it because it's comforted me this far. I know it sounds stupid, and it kind of is a stupid mindset, but it led me to Christ again, and it led to a miracle that he worked in my life. This isn't a testimony of me finding God or him finding me. I guess in a way he did find me, but it's more about a miracle that he worked in my life. And when I went to church, when I finally came to him with these problems, I broke down. I just broke down at the altar. I never cried so hard in my life. It felt like coming to Jesus alone was so overwhelmingly emotional that spiritually it flipped a switch in me. I remember weeping at the altar, and the music was playing. Pastors were walking around, and one came up to me, and he kind of grabbed my shoulder, and I looked up at him, and I looked in his eyes, and it was like dead eyes. It was like he himself, as a person, his soul wasn't there. It felt like he was being used as a vessel in that moment through Jesus. And I felt like I was looking at Jesus. And I felt like it was him when he spoke. And he told me, there are some things that you have got to get rid of. And that was a hard thing to accept. And I actually didn't really accept it fully. Now, I quit nicotine, and here's the greatest thing. I didn't get off of weed immediately, but I did eventually, right? But the greatest thing about this is the next morning I woke up. I didn't even have an urge to vape. I didn't even have withdrawals. I didn't nick. I didn't have anything that made me want to go back to it. It was like a fresh palate. It was like I never had the addiction to begin with. Like I wasn't even curious to try to see if I just didn't have the urge. Had the vape in my drawer right there at my bedside. Didn't care, And that was the miracle. He took away the urge. He changed my desires. Even when I didn't even lean on him after that, he went on to change my desires and went on to save me from so many things. Even if I'm not perfect, right? Even if I still go back and forth with things, focusing on Jesus and getting close to him has been the most pinnacle thing in my life. And my testimony is proof of my faith. And if you have a testimony, share it. Don't be afraid to share it, because found people find people.